It's wonderful to live 100 years, but gosh, I have so many good friends. I must have done something right. We weren't poor, but we didn't have a lot of money. Unfortunately, during all the Depression, both of my parents managed to work, and there was always food on the table and a roof over our head. I had to work to buy my own clothes at the time I was, 15, 17 years old. Of course, I bought them after that. At the beginning of the Depression, you could buy a loaf of bread for a nickel, and a Powerhouse candy bar was about a nickel. And but we live at the end of the street, and as a matter of fact, when we first came to California, we lived next to a dump. And I think I mentioned this at the last party we had, that my mother and I would get at the back of the house, we'd grab towels, open up the front door, and we'd go like this and drive all the flies out of the house. Oh. But we weren't there too long, and then my folks built a new home over in the Silver Lake District. That was 1928, and my brother and I had our own bedroom, believe it or not. Yeah. But it was an enjoyable time. I think the fact for me was the big band era, because I loved to sing, I loved the music. And when I was in high school, we'd usually dance on Friday afternoons in the girls' gym, and then we'd go home, change clothes, go down to the Rainbow Gardens, and dance until midnight. Yeah. So I love the big bands. Dick Jurgens and Tommy Dorsey and all of them. It was really great.
Did you play in a band?
I never played anything except the harmonica.
Oh.
And he has a picture going to be in this thing that he's shooting of me and the little hillbillies. When I was about 12 years old, I taught myself to play the harmonica. And one of my friends was the lead guy on the. He could play any kind of instrument, and his name was Pee Wee Murray. But I did sing in high school. I sang in the musicals. Usually, I was the lead singer there. And one of the teachers thought I had a great future as a singer, but I didn't think I had the charisma of a stage artist, so I didn't pursue that. And I'd rather stay and have my roots. Fortunately, I was interested in electronics, so that gave me a way to go. In my senior year, my gym class would go to the girls' gym, and we would take dancing lessons. And the boys would line up, and the girls would line up, And I see this little chick, and I count down. I count down so far, and I move down. She says, "How come I get you as a partner all the time?" I don't recall what I told her. And we would go down. We had the streetcar ran on the tunnel with downtown Los Angeles. We get on that, go down and roam around a bit, and then we take the streetcar on Sunset Boulevard, go home, and she'd get off, and I'd go home. We never dated while I was in school. So the last day, well, this would be the day after the last day, I had graduated, and I had to come back and get my diploma, because they thought we'd get in trouble or something, and I had to go get my diploma. She had to come back and get a report card, and I found her somewhere, and I literally, back there against the wall, says, "I want your address and phone number." The rest is history, as they say. Yeah. So we dated for 2 years and got married at 19. That lasted for 68 years. After I got married, I enrolled in a nighttime engineering school, and I went to that for several years. And it was on the basis of that I was working for Douglas Aircraft, helping to build the DC-3s, that I was able to talk my way into the electrical research department. And I was there for quite a while, and then I left Douglas and went to Lockheed, worked at Lockheed for a while, and we had some disagreements, so I left there and went to another electronics place and worked for them, but that wasn't connected to the war sufficiently for me to get a deferment, so I got drafted, and I was in the Navy for a year. And during that time, after I got out of boot camp, I was enrolled in electronics school, which was a breeze for me because I'd already been working in the industry for quite a long time. So I had every night liberty, and when my wife came up, why, I was able to get an apartment, and we lived for a week. But she came and brought the boy up, and we had a great time there. Yeah, and I flew home one time and saw her. Well, the highways in 1920 were, to my knowledge, there were no paved highways. And it took us 3 weeks to get out here. It was that 1913 Ford that my father bought and drove out here. Never driven a car before. And of course, she had flat tires and other problems with the cars. And I guess it was quite a trip, and I regret that I didn't sit down. My mother had some time and get this on tape or ripped down so I could have written it, but I didn't do that. On a clear day, rise and look around you, and you'll see who you are. On a clear day, how it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star you'll feel part of. Every mountain, sea, and shore you will hear from far and near, a world you never heard before. On that clear day, on that clear day, you will see forever and ever and evermore. My singing career, I've been singing since I was 6 years old. And my mother said that we would go to the theater and see a musical, and Basil would come out singing all the songs. And I took to that pretty readily. And in high school, a young lady by the name of Ruth Coffer was a singer, and she and I would get together at lunchtime and go up to the music room. We had a piano player up there, and he'd play the piano, and we would sing. And if he wasn't there, we'd sing anyway. And then twice a year, the school would put on a musical, and I was always involved with that. Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. For you'll find it is hard to be narrow of mind if you're young at heart. You can go to extremes with impossible dreams. You can laugh at your dream fall apart at the seams, and life becomes more enchanting with each passing day. Love is either in your heart or on its way. Don't you know that it's worth every pleasure on earth to be young at heart? For as long as you're rich, I'm sorry. For as rich as you are, you're much better by far if you're young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, think of all you derive out of being alive. And here is the best part, you have a head start if you are among the very long at heart. if you are among the very loved at heart. Oh. You're nobody till somebody loves you. You're nobody till somebody cares. You may be son, you may possess the world and its gold, but gold won't bring you happiness when you're growing old. The world still is the same, you'll never change it. As sure as the stars shine above, you're nobody till somebody loves you. So go and find somebody, go and find somebody, go and find yourself somebody to love. I'm pooped.
On your birthday cake, you had some pictures.
Yeah.
They put some pictures on. What were those pictures?
Okay, one of the pictures was Beach Bonanza, which I had two. That one, not at the same time, it's the two different ones. And I had a motorhome, and that was on there. And they had a DC-10, because they know I worked for Douglas. Should have had a DC-3, but I don't really find a picture for one. The DC-3, it's a
DC-3,
21
okay.
passengers, twin engine, all metal. I got to fly co-pilot
Yeah.
on a couple of them.
Oh,
I
great.
had a friend who was a pilot for a charter company, and one time we were on the way to Las Vegas, and I flew co-pilot there. Another time I went to San Francisco out of Burbank, and I got to fly right in. In fact, I landed that time. Yeah.
Now, what was your first plane?
My first plane was a Cessna 120, a little two-place. We made one serious trip, my wife and my son. It was only a two-place airplane, but he sat on her lap. We flew up to Sacramento to go to the fair, and that's about as far as we went. But later on, when I got into the four-place airplanes, we traveled quite a bit. I took both my children on trips around the whole United States. I think I've had an unusually good life because I don't recall, after I started working for Douglas, I don't recall ever feeling when I got up I didn't want to go to work. And I've been healthy all my life. I didn't get in the hospital until I was, 90 years old. So I've had a good life. Lee and I fell in love when we were 19 years old and never fell out. After that, we had our ups and downs, of course, but it was, between she and I, it was a good marriage. And she was probably the most unselfish person I have ever known. Everybody came before her. Her kids, me, her mother, I don't care who it was, their needs came before hers. But she passed away in 2006. And while she was ill, we had a little conversation in which she said to me, well, I won't be around anymore, and you'll have to find somebody else. Well, that evening I went home and cried. I really grieved for Lee. She and I had played bridge at Wells Park for quite some time, and a lady there named Gertrude Findlay had been there for a long time. And about 6 months after Lee passed away, I asked her to come up, and Gertrude, that is, to sit in at my place and play bridge with another couple that I had invited over. And we had a very nice evening, and then the following Saturday she called up and invited me to lunch, and as a result of that, why, she and I got together, and we've been buddies for something like 11 years. And her family has been very good to me, and I want to thank them for their hospitality and for the nice things they've done for me over the years. And also, of course, I want to thank John and Eileen Newmeister for the wonderful party that they threw for me on the 30th of December, and for all the people I understand that contributed to that. One of the nicest things that's ever happened to me.
Del, I'm so glad you decided to stay for 100 years. I hope you make another 100. I know I'm only going to make it to 150, but you know, I'm glad that I met you. I'm glad that I was able to play bridge with you and learn from the master.
Happy 100th birthday to you, Del. I look up to you. I admire your energy. I admire your card playing. I admire your sense of humor. And I admire your gentlemanly ways. I can tell you are always a true gentleman, and those are rare to find these days. But I'm glad I got to know you, and I look forward to many more fun times. Happy birthday.
I hope you have a lot more of them, Del. 99 years old, 100 years old is a pretty good record. I'd like to get there myself.
Del, I want to wish you a happy birthday. We've been friends for quite a few years, and I hope 100 more.
We have gotten to meet him and know him, and what a gentleman, just a gentleman. And 100. Whew.
Well, with Del, he just amazes me. He goes over on the complex, they have a separate laundry. He gets his laundry, puts it in the cart and everything, walks all the way down, does his own laundry. If he needs his car washed, he's out there wiping the car down. I mean, it's amazing. And then there's times when he walks off by himself and just walks. He's amazing, but I know why, because he doesn't give up on life at all. Not at all. And we love him dearly.
He's an inspiration.
Great gentleman.
Yes.
Great.
It's wonderful to be here with you today on this wonderful milestone day. It's been wonderful playing bridge with you the last 15 years. You're a true gentleman, which I hear repeated over and over because it's very, very true. And we all love you.
Hi, Dale. I've really enjoyed knowing you. Dale and John and I all joined as permanent members of the Thursday Bridge Group at Wells. Before that, I subbed with Dale in one of his groups where he was the only guy in 2 tables of bridge, and he seemed to enjoy that, but he would drive me to the different people's houses, always very generous with his time. And I think he's a very, very nice person. He has good character, and I love playing bridge with him. He's a good bridge player, and I'm so excited that he got to 100. I really am so happy about that.
It has been a fabulous time knowing you these 40 years. My kids still think of you as one of their grandparents, and sorry, they were really sorry they couldn't be here today. Just life. When Aaron's wife is very pregnant and didn't feel like doing it, and Carol had to go back to Mesa, Arizona. So happy birthday, Dale. Absolutely love being at your party.
I just want to wish Dale a very, very happy 100th birthday, and I look forward to hosting his party next year. You're an awesome guy, and I just really, really, truly enjoyed this. So the best of luck to you, and looking forward to you beating me at bridge in 2018.
Well, Dale, I'm glad to have met you. You've been a big influence on my life. I appreciate his experience in airplanes. And he's a very likable man, and he plays bridge real good, especially for a man his age.
I've met Dale a couple times, and obviously I enjoyed his talks, his comments. Very impressive, and what I'll say is 100 lat, which is Polish for live another 100 years. So again, very nice event, and it was wonderful meeting people. And Dale, again, best of luck and wishes to you in the future.
Well, I got the pleasure of working with Del today and find out that actually at 100 he has a really nice voice. You have a wonderful voice and have some great notes left. And for you to tell me that you haven't sung since last January, and how much you came up in just 1 hour rehearsal, I want you to know that you could really sing. You could really sing again if you just give it some time. Hi, Del. It was nice to meet you.